Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. Feels good to be back after the Easter break. Hope you guys had a good Easter. Spend time with your family, go to church, and just relax and have a good time. But now we're back on schedule. We produced some shows. I'm sure some people are like, bro, where the hell you at? I had to shoot some videos in a place that I normally don't shoot from. So it feels good to be back today. So with the whole Easter that happened this weekend, it was a bit hard to follow some of these games because I was traveling, visiting family, time zone differences, etc. Right? And it was one game that I really wanted to stay up to see, but it was just so late. And, you know, for any of you who have kids, you know, sometimes duty calls, man. You gotta take care of your kids, so you can't do certain things. So I totally missed this game. But going into this series, however, we produced the show on our channel last week, Thursday, I believe, kind of heading into the playoffs. And it was our prediction show. And we did a bunch of predictions. We did a prediction for the Clippers Denver series. I picked the Clippers to win that series. They lost a very close game in game one, a game that they deserved to lose because of the amount of mental errors. They had 20 turnovers in that game. You deserve to lose that game. They weren't executing in the second half, and a bunch of different stuff that pissed me off in that game. The fact that they didn't feature Kawhi Leonard enough in the offense was just something that pissed me off. But they're going to have a chance of retribution tonight when they play against the Golden State, when they play against the Denver Nuggets, excuse me. But one of the games that happened, which was later in the night, was a game between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Los Angeles Lakers. In that series, I made a pick. The prediction is on the channel. I picked the Wolves to win that series, right? And I said that I wanted to see how they were going to play in game one against the Lakers to solidify my pick. But nevertheless, I ended up picking them. So when I went to bed and I woke up, I was surprised to see, to be honest. Well, I was surprised, but not that surprised. But I was a bit surprised to see that the Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Lakers. But what was even more surprising was the fashion in which they beat them. They ended up beating the Lakers by 22 points. 22 points in the game, right? Now, going into the game, the NBA Countdown crew was covering the game. I believe it was Kendrick Perkins. May have been Bob Myers. I could be wrong with somebody else. Malika Andrews and Stephen A. Smith. Now, obviously, you guys know that Stephen A. Smith had the back and forth with LeBron James over the last few weeks, right? So when he started to kind of respond to what went down here, Stephen A. Smith did not miss an opportunity to call out LeBron James for his horrendous game one performance. And by the way, let me just say, LeBron finished the game with 19 points. He had 19 points, 4 turnovers, 3 blocks, 2 steals, 3 assists, 5 rebounds on 50% shooting, 20% shooting from 3, and 44% shooting from the field with a plus minus of -22. And folks, let me tell you, when Stephen A. Smith saw this opportunity to get at LeBron James and call him out for being an absolute no-show, he didn't miss the opportunity. So what we want to do now is we want to play exactly what Stephen A. Smith had to say about LeBron James's horrendous game one performance. And then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what Smith had to say here.
So it's the Minnesota Timberwolves that gets the best of the Los Angeles Lakers here in game one. Perkins said repeatedly, I can't just call it a punch. It was...
They got dropped.
It was a little bit more than that. What was it that made the difference here for the Minnesota Timberwolves in this game?
Well, they were making threes, and they put the Lakers on their heels offensively because they were making threes, number one. Number two, they got aggressive. They got all up in them defensively. Number three, I don't know if anybody's going to mention this, but I'm going to mention this. Where was LeBron James tonight? He was very, very lethargic. Very lethargic. And this Saturday night, I don't know what the hell was going on with him. J.J. Redick went on camera and said, quote, "We don't have any energy. It's like guys don't even recognize that it's the playoffs. What the hell is going on up in here?" He was scratching his head, looking like he had dandruff for crying out loud because he couldn't figure it out. This is the kind of stuff that you're talking about. I don't suspect this will happen in game two, but that's how much JJ was scratching his head because he couldn't believe what we couldn't believe. Luka showed up offensively. He was a liability defensively, and LeBron James was a liability, period, and nobody on Minnesota was, and that's why they won this game.
So you heard what Stephen A. Smith had to say there. So let's get back into the box score of this game. So Rui Hachimura had 9 points. Jackson Hayes had 1 point in 8 minutes and 3 rebounds. Austin Reeves had 16 points. Luka Doncic had 37 points with 5 turnovers, 2 steals, 1 assist, 8 rebounds on 50% shooting from 3. He had 5 3-pointers and 54% shooting from the field. Dorian Finney-Smith had 3 points. Gabe Vincent had 3 points. Jared Vanderbilt, who's not really an offensive weapon, he had 3 points. On the other side, for the Wolves, Jaden McDaniels led them in scoring with 25 points, followed by Julius Randle, Anthony Edwards, who had 12 points in the game, and Naz Reid, who I believe came off the bench with 23 points. I believe he is also the reigning six-man of the year, right? So they had a balanced attack there, and they had a very good performance. What are my thoughts on what Stephen A. Smith had to say? First of all, look, the Lakers' 3 best players are the following: Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Austin Reeves. They're also the best in that order. Luka's their best player. LeBron is their second best player. Austin Reeves is their third best player. In a game like this, when you're LeBron James and you're the second best player, you got to come along for the ride. Now, Luka's plus minus was negative, but it was minus 12. LeBron was minus 22. Luka scored 37. LeBron scored 19. Luka was actually efficient. He shot 50% from the 3 and 54% overall. LeBron shot 44% from the field, 27% from the 3. That's not good enough. And apart from the fact that Stephen A. Smith could be using that as an opportunity to take a shot at LeBron James, it was also warranted. He didn't play well. Period. End of story. Now, there are some people out there that are trying to twist this thing and, oh, Luka didn't play. But what else do you want Luka to do? Score 50 points and put LeBron on his back and carry him up the hill? Like, what else do you want him to do? Like, he needs some help in that game. Austin Reeves has 16 points, right? 4 points off of his regular season average. But Austin Reeves is a role player on the verge of being a star, I guess. But LeBron James is a bona fide star. Bona fide. Stamped and approved. And you can't have a game like that. I'm sorry, you just can't. You just cannot have a game like that. It's just not, it's not going to cut it. Not in the playoffs. 10 points in the first half. Luka doubled that up with 20 points. Now people are like, oh, Luka only had 1 assist. Well, who was making their shots? Who's he going to pass it to? Himself? Like, who's he going to pass it to? Who's he going to pass it to? He had 20 points in the first half, 17 points in the second half. These guys couldn't buy a bucket. He did his thing. Luka Doncic did his thing. And the crazy part about it is some of these LeBron fans are trying to scapegoat Luka and talking about, oh, Luka was stat padding. Bro, this is what we've been telling you about LeBron all of these years. The thing y'all are complaining about Luka is the same thing most people have been complaining about LeBron. And it seems to annoy them so much. It's like, yeah, that's how annoying LeBron has been. That is how, as annoyed as you are of Luka and your craziness, that's how annoyed we are at LeBron James. Yes. You got to be better than that. Period. End of story. Now, I expect them to have a better game in game 2. But as I said, I already picked the Wolves to win this series. It wouldn't surprise me. Now, if the Wolves did lose this series, it ain't going to be good. And one of those people is definitely not going to be good for is JJ Redick himself, who we're going to be getting to a little bit later on today. But these are my thoughts. Y'all know your man Shannon Sharp has been out there cracking jokes. Oh, keying it up, to use his terminology, over the last few weeks. Bona fide, certified, petrified. Lakers in 5. All that nonsense, right? All of this. Oh, Lakers in 5. Lakers in 5. Whether you like it or not, whether you jive, or you alive, or you going to thrive. Lakers in 5. That's what Shannon Sharp been doing. And it's been funny, right? And in the midst of all of that humor, some of you dudes been running around, running behind Shannon Sharp. Oh, my man, he right. Twerking it up behind him. You just twerking it up behind him. Leaving a freaking a wake of honey all over the street. Oh, Shannon is right. And as I'm listening to it and we all laughing, I'm saying to myself, there's zero analysis taking place here. Absolutely zero. They'd be like, Shannon, you know, the Minnesota Timberwolves are good at this. Lakers in 5. They're like, all right. So what happened? Game 1 kicks off. I'm sure Shannon Sharp was in his house, hollering and screaming, laughing it up. I'm sure you Laker fans And LeBron fans are just up there ready to celebrate. Man, we're going to win it. We're going to win it. Why? Because you let these media people fool you. A lot of these guys were giving absolutely zero basketball analysis. Absolutely zero basketball analysis. Zero. The vast majority of the people that were picking the Lakers gave no reasoning. Maybe the most they would give is, well, you know, we got Luka. Well, you know, we got LeBron. Well, you know, we got experience. And that was just about it. Like, those things are really going to be the determining factors on the floor when you go out there and play. And the Minnesota Timberwolves was sitting there salivating, just like Wolves would, waiting for these dudes to walk through the court, walk on the court. And they absolutely mauled them. And at the end of the game, after they ended up beating them by 22 points, one of the only people I could think about was Mr. None Other than Lakers in 5. And of course, you know, to give him his credit, he didn't hide. He went out there and he did a show on his podcast, Nightcap, as you guys know, immediately after the Lakers lost the game. And Shannon Sharpe, as he was talking, he looked like he was about to burst into tears. And I'm like, this cannot be the same arrogant Mr. Lakers in 5 that was up there hollering and screaming for the last 2 weeks. But folks, Shannon Sharpe finally had to show a little bit of humility after the Lakers got their asses tapped. So what we want to do is going to play exactly what Shannon Sharpe had to say on Nightcap, and then we're going to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to what he had to say here.
Well, actually, they took over in the second quarter and blew the game wide open. Outscored the Lakers by 18 in the second quarter after being down by 7, and they really never looked back after that, and they win 117-95. It was a balanced effort. You got 16 from Julius Randle, 25 from Jaden McDaniels, who was 11 of 13, 3 of 3 from the 3. Ant-Man, he wasn't efficient shooting the ball, but he was dominant as his normal self. 22 points, and it was Naz Reid coming off the bench, 8 of 12 from the field, 6 of 9 from the 3, 23 points. The Lakers, with the exception of Luka, nobody really played well. And in order for them to get back in this series, because the home team has lost home court in the first game, and normally that's not what you want to see, but they still got a ways to go. This is an absolute must on Monday night, Joe. They've got to get this game. But LeBron, AR, and they got to get some help from the bench. But watching this game, tell me, what did you see? What did you like about what you saw from Minnesota, and what didn't you like about what you saw from the Lakers?
It looked like they were stuck in mud a little bit to me.
Yeah, they didn't match. They need to understand this is the playoffs. This ain't no regular season.
Yeah,
it's different. And they didn't come out. You know, they came out really good in the first quarter, but that second quarter, and we know the Lakers, after watching them all year, Joe, they're gonna have a quarter where they take it completely off.
Yeah.
Now, it's normally the third or the fourth quarter. It's not normally the first half. Yeah. It's normally they come out at the half or or the fourth quarter. But we saw this turn of events in the second quarter where they ended up giving up 38 points. After giving up 21 in the first quarter, they gave up 38, and then they gave up another 35 in the third quarter. So they gave up, 73 points in 2 quarters.
So you heard what your man Shannon Sharpe had to say there. Now, what are my thoughts about this? I don't feel sorry for Shannon Sharpe at all. I don't feel any remorse for those people that was out there talking about some damn Lakers in 5. Why would it have been Lakers in 5? I think a lot of you people that bought into that nonsense were believing this mumbo jumbo that these people were preaching on TV. This is a real series, number one. Number two, whenever you grossly disrespect an opponent, they're going to take it personal. And it's going to cause them to play even harder. It's happened a lot of times. Go back and think of the 2004 Detroit Pistons when they beat the Lakers in the finals. Everybody thought that was a foregone conclusion. Think about that team, the Dallas Maverick team that was supposed to win it all that year, and the Golden State Warriors stunned them in round 1. That was supposed to be a foregone conclusion. Or think about the Dallas Mavericks when they beat the Miami Heat in the finals. That was supposed to be a foregone conclusion because the Heat was so heavily favored, and they lost there. It happens all the time. That's number one. When you write off your opponent to the degree that a lot of people have written them off, that happens. That's number one. Number two, What becomes the aftermath after you oversell something? Which is what they've done. They've oversold a lot of things. They oversold what this Laker team is going to do. They oversold what JJ Redick is capable of doing. And we're going to get to JJ Redick a little bit later, obviously, depending on the order in which you're watching these shows. The way that they've been talking about JJ Redick, and let me just firstly say this. Did JJ Redick exceed my expectations this season? Absolutely. I thought they were going to be horrendous. They ended up being a 3rd seed. That was excellent. They haven't done that good in a very long time, I think, since the 2020 campaign. They did a really good job. I thought Luka and LeBron were not going to be able to work, and they found a way to make it work. I was wrong there as well. All right? So people like myself have been wrong. Right? I've been wrong, but they've also been overselling. You would have thought that the way they're talking about JJ Redick, he's the Albert Einstein of basketball. And after going out there and getting their asses tapped in game 1 by 22 points, plus you juxtapose that with all of the other people that have been up there hollering and screaming Lakers in 5 and all that other nonsense, well, you're going to get situations like this. And now the Lakers have a dogfight on their hands because the Minnesota Timberwolves are not going to go away. Now what's going to happen is they're going to try to get game 2. And if they get game 2, this series is over, folks. And if you think things are bad after game 1, things are going to really be bad after game 2. They're going to really be bad. And don't forget this wrinkle in all of this. For those Laker fans that are out there criticizing Luka, I done told y'all to shut the hell up. Luka could walk at the end of the season. And if Luka walks, you are super screwed. You are definitely screwed. You are 100% screwed. So they need to lay off all of this Luka blame and all. This is Luka's first season there. He was a mid-season acquisition. It wasn't like as if Luka was there all season, had a training camp with them and all of that. Luka just got there. So they need to give that guy a little bit of freedom, a little bit of leeway. All right? And these people like Shannon Sharp and others who are overselling this team, not really giving any real basketball analysis, are misleading a lot of people. I used to watch some of those videos. You got people in the comment section throwing up the high five, and I'm like, y'all don't know what the hell y'all are talking about. If you think y'all were up there twerking it up and gyrating and hollering, oh man, we ain't got the war, because y'all was happy that y'all ain't facing the Warriors, and y'all thought, oh, Minnesota's the best pool, and okay, now fine. Minnesota hit what, a record 23 pointers in that game? Oh, let me see, but it's a playoff record. I mean, no, this is they hit 21 3-pointers. That's not going to happen again. But the Lakers are not just going, if you go in there expecting, well, they're not going to shoot that well again. They're going to do something better that you don't foresee, and they're going to end up whooping your asses. So they need to chill with all that Lakers in 5 talk and realize this is a real series, and ain't no NBA team going to lay down for you because you guys want to fulfill a particular narrative. It's just not going to happen. That's not an excuse to get the job done. So let's get into it. So as you guys know, a lot of people in the media have been twerking it up all over the place for JJ Redick and the Lakers, but in particular JJ Redick. Now, I think it's important that I say this. Coming into this season, I thought that the Lakers were going to be a total disaster, being led by JJ Redick, right? I thought that they fired Darvin Ham prematurely. And thus far, the Lakers look like they made the right decision, and it left a lot of us out here looking like absolute buffoons, because the Lakers ended up getting the 3rd seed this year, while I think the Lakers last year were in the play-in tournament, if I'm not mistaken. And they had a much better record this year, so they looked very well. Going into the playoffs, there was a lot of enthusiasm around his team. The players seemed to be very high and responsive to their head coach, JJ Redick. So a lot of people thought that this was just going to be one big kumbaya moment, and it was going to be a cakewalk to the Western Conference Finals. So what happened? They played game 1 against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Minnesota Timberwolves literally mauled the Lakers. They beat the living hell out of them. They ended up beating them by 22 points. Jaden McDaniels led the Minnesota Timberwolves in scoring. Anthony Edwards didn't even have a good game, and they still won by 22 points. And one of the reasons as well is because the Wolves hit a record 3-point shots in a playoff game, with 21 3-pointers, right? 21 3-pointers, and they absolutely stunned the Los Angeles Lakers. And in the aftermath of that, people have been trying to figure out, well, who do we blame? Because as you guys know, there must always be a blame game when it comes to the Lakers and when they lose. And you have to look no further than one of the biggest voices in Laker Nation, in Magic Johnson when he called out JJ Redick. And I want to read you guys a headline from the website yardbarker.com. And it says, Magic Johnson blasts Lakers JJ Redick following brutal game 1 loss. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be a fantastic article that we need to get into here today. So let's get into what this article had to say. It says the Los Angeles Lakers dropped the first game of the 2025 playoffs, losing fairly easily to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota blew the Lakers off the court, taking game 1 with ease. It was a poor effort from the Lakers, and they now find themselves down 0-1 in this series. Minnesota took back home court advantage from the Lakers, grabbing an edge in the matchup. Naturally, many fans were upset at the performance, considering Los Angeles entered the series as favorites to win. Former Lakers star Magic Johnson was included in that, taking to social media to let his feelings out on the loss. And he wrote, and I want to show it to you. Tonight was one of the Lakers' worst performances this season. They were flat, had no energy, and they played like it was a regular season game. He then continued on saying, Coach JJ Redick did a great job all season, but he didn't do a good job for game 1. The Lakers stood around on offense, played too much one-on-one basketball, and he didn't make any necessary adjustments. All in all, it was simply a very bad game for the Lakers. Luckily for Los Angeles, they can look ahead to game 2 and hopefully be better prepared. So that is what Laker legend Magic Johnson had to say about the state of affairs of the Lakers right now after that game 1 loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. What are my thoughts about this? I think it's important that we have people like this, Magic Johnson, with his stature, call out JJ Redick, right? Because we know a lot of these guys on television are not going to do that. It's important that Magic Johnson does it. And number 2, he has the credibility and the resume to do so. It has to be said. Now, you guys know JJ Redick can be rude and all of that. I just wish a reporter had asked him to respond to the comments that Magic Johnson made, and I wanted to see one of those flippant, dismissive, rude responses to Magic Johnson, because if he had done that, they would have roasted his ass. They would have roasted and flame broiled his ass. So I think he was able to kind of escape through and not get questioned on that level about it. But look, let's get to it. Look, you can't talk your way into a championship. You can't do it. You cannot talk your way into an NBA championship. You actually gotta go out there and win one. You can't, oh, well, the Lakers are going to win. Oh, the Lakers are going to do this. LeBron, these guys are going to do that. Yeah, that don't matter. They actually got to go in there and put in the work. That's number 1. Number 2, in the midst of you guys doing this all season long, please bear in mind that other teams are taking notice of all of this twercation that has been taking place. I think it's important that we mention this because a lot of you jokers out there have been talking about, oh, man, yeah, the experience of this, experience of that. Did you see what the Oklahoma City did to the Minnesota Timberwolves in game 1? They beat the living hell out of them. They beat them by 51 points. 51 points. And let me tell y'all something. If the Lakers manage to find a way to make it out of this series and make it to the next where they play these guys, they're going to beat the living hell out of them. If not for anything, for the fact that they're better than them, they're going to beat them for the fact that the media and these guys have been twerking it up all year long. Oh, they're not really for real. They're not really for real. You talking about the Lakers like they just won the last 2 championships. If my memory serves me right, was this not the team that got knocked out in the playoffs in the first round in the last 2 years? Y'all are acting like as if this is the Boston Celtics or something. Like, I'm confused. The way y'all were promoting it, you would think that this team has won 3 championships in a row. Like, I'm lost. They're giving them this benefit of, oh, yeah, you know, the Lakers are going to be fantastic. They're going to be excellent. Get out of their way. Here they come. They're like a bull in a china shop. They're just going to be ravaging through the Western Conference playoff. Like, what are we talking about here? And number 3, the JJ Redick aspect of it. If they don't win, JJ will need to get called out. And they better win this series. Because the way you dudes were twerking it up all year long, you cannot twerk it up to the degree that you were twerking and all of that twerkation that took place. And at the very end, end up having the same conclusion this year as they did last year and the year prior. That cannot be the conclusion. They need to get out of round 1 to at least justify this higher. because the regular season is fantastic. But there are teams that can lose with high seeds. Just go look at that Houston Rockets Golden State series. And I picked Houston to win that series, by the way. So if you think Magic Johnson is on his ass now, they better win game 2. Because if they lose game 2, ho, 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 he going to be in a whole heap of trouble.